In this little video, or if you want to call it a video, I just want to give a contemplation when it comes to the difference between acting and authenticity. If you put me in a room and force me to say something, or force me to say this or that, and carry out the lines in this specific way, and using this specific tone of voice and this specific volume, then it would be very, very difficult to do because it wouldn't come naturally to me. It would be something that somebody else forced me to do. When you're an actor, directors and film producers and creators hire you because you look and sound in a particular way to fit that role. There's something about you that other people are drawn to, and there's something about you, if you were to be an actor, that possesses the right qualities and has the most potential for this role out of all the other actors and actresses that these casting directors audition. And so they do the audition, and then they select the people from that audition. They select whoever does the best job playing the role and reading the lines and following the script. And so they select these people, and then they go through many, many hours of rehearsing and acting and practicing and hard work and persistence and sort of keeping the stamina in line, keeping at it and not giving up, moving in the same direction, rehearsing the same lines over and over again. But do these lines and does the role that they are playing feel natural to them? Or is it just, does it look good from the outside and does it sound good from the outside? Is it what the casting directors want? But what they're saying doesn't really resonate and doesn't feel true within the lives of the actors, the minds and hearts of the actors and actresses. When you see movies, they are made so that when you watch them, it looks very real. It looks like those actors are playing real people. They're being real people in a certain situation with these themes and these things going on. And then it looks perfectly natural. But then how does it feel inside them? Does it feel natural to them? When they're saying things, does it feel like they're just rehearsing the lines and speaking out the script, or are they liberating themselves when they are speaking and carrying out the lines, carrying out the script? They're just speaking and doing the best they can. But the thing about acting is you need to make the character that you're playing personal. Daniel Radcliffe needed to make Harry Potter personal. Meryl Streep had to make Miranda Priestley very personal to her, even though she said on an interview that she didn't really have an interest in fashion. She had to find the gold and find the truth and find what resonates, find what is similar, and find that value. And I would even go as far as saying spiritual value of what this actor has. And then when you find that value, you can channel whatever that you can channel, whatever you have going on, whatever connection that you can make. You're channeling that within your acting. You're channeling that as you're reading, rehearsing the lines and doing that. But you need to make it personal. You need to find it within yourself. And then the actor would, allow for room for liberation. Here are the lines, but it is up to you on how you carry out these lines, on how you carry out this role. There needs to be authentic liberation. And there has to be a certain spiritual meaning to acting. When I was younger, during my progressed Saturn in Leo for 7 years, from 7 to 14 in my life, from those ages, I was really into being other people, pretending to be other people. I was very into playing roles, creating voices. I had a whole list of voices. I was into making skits in which I would act and pretend to be a villain or, a mean person or a mad person or, whatever. And it felt good to do that. It felt true to me at the time. I was doing that on my own accord. I was acting and being very dramatic and theatrical on my own accord. It wasn't something that somebody else was telling me, oh, you have these lines to carry out. Because as soon as somebody else forces you to carry out lines, forces you to say things in a certain way, forces you to do this, it's going to sound different and it's going to sound unnatural and it's going to sound forced. That is, unless you integrate your Sagittarius energy. How is this piece of information, how is this role that I am playing fit within me? How does this line up for me? How does this make sense for me? How can I connect this dot to this other dot? How can I make this personal to me? Feeling it at an intuitive level and channeling that energy of how the character should be. Meryl Streep is great at that, where she can really tap into the real feeling and the real soul and the real personality and intentions of the character. So she is very real, and authentic and even flawsome, awesome with doing it in a perfectly imperfect, almost charmingly modest type way. And she was born when Neptune, the planet of film and escapism and connecting with your higher self, connecting with the divine, connecting with your intuition, that planet was stationary in the sky. So what that means is Neptune's energies were stationary. Neptune was standing still. We could just turn up the volume on all things Neptunian. Creativity, dreams, fantasy. I mean, you could go down the whole bolded list of traits. But because she had a strong Neptunian energy, a strong spiritual receptivity and connection to the feminine, and connection and really an empath, a sponge, someone who can feel into somebody else and what they're going through, what's on their mind, how they're feeling, what's occurring in their life. So if you watch her, you're not going to see an actor who is cheap, necessarily speaking, who is trying to play the role. You're going to see somebody who is, being, not acting as, but being that particular person. But I do think that when people, casting directors force actors to carry out these lines, it becomes different. And it takes skill. A skilled actor does not make it look forced. A skilled actor takes the character and makes it resonate for him or her and makes it look real so that the audience cannot tell that you are acting. If I can tell that somebody is acting and it's fake and it's superficial and it is forced, then that is what makes me uncomfortable. For example, I was at a play on November 18th of last year. November 19th, excuse me. And so that play that I was seeing, I forget what the name of it was. And granted, it was a college level play. It was at DMAC, Des Moines Area Community College, where I am a part-time student there. And so I was seeing this play for this assignment that I was doing for class, where we needed to go and participate and observe one of the events at DMAC, the Ankeny campus, so in Ankeny, Iowa, in the U.S. So anyway, I was seeing this play, and it took me a little bit of time to get used to that this was a college level play, and this was done by actors who made it sound as if it was forced and if they were just acting as a character. And I closed my eyes, and it was very hard to look at and watch. And it almost kind of made me cringe with just how uncomfortable it was at the beginning. Yeah, and there could have been, it was different because it was in a black box theater, so the actors were very, very close to you. And I'm not a fan of black box. I prefer the main theaters. But anyway, but what if we could merge acting and spirituality? What if we could blend the two together? What if we can put a spiritual meaning and spiritual connection to that character that the actors and actresses are playing and being, and then they are channeling that, not through their mind and the rehearsing of the lines and making sure to say this the right way, but they also drop in and connect it to their heart and soul, and then they practice it over and over again, and then they do the connection, and then they're that good that they can drop in and then connect it inside and feel into the character and then channel it out. Now, I do think that acting and authenticity and expressing yourself is because of the inspiration that you feel, not that somebody else is forcing you to do or making you do, that you feel in the moment, the inspiration that you feel, the passion, the enthusiasm, the desire that you feel, inspiration in spirit. You feel it, you just want to act and you want to say certain things and you want to be dramatic and you put on a show, do whatever. Acting and being authentic, maybe they're not so polarized as they may seem. Maybe they could be blended together. So it's an interesting question, and it's an interesting thing to think about and contemplate. When you're acting and rehearsing lines versus spirituality and being authentic. I mean, what is spiritual? Finding the spirituality in the 3D ego-based world of acting and drama, when it comes to that being a humanity, and when it comes to theatrical people, people who sound like they are involved in theater. What is the spirituality in those people, and what is the spirituality in acting and drama and playing in movies and being in a play, playing in a play. So those are all things to think about. So I hope that you enjoyed and found this contemplation interesting and thought-provoking, and I'll see you on another one. Bye, everyone.